So you're moving to Northern Virginia and you have a million questions going through your head right now. Well, guess what? In this week's video, I'm gonna share with you 10 of the most common questions that I get asked on a daily basis, all about living and moving to Northern Virginia. And if you wanna know what those questions are and make your move to Northern Virginia that much easier, stay tuned because we're getting started right now. Boom! Hey everybody, it's David, your favorite realtor. As always, it's another beautiful day right here in Northern Virginia. If it's your first time here on my channel, please consider subscribing because every week I release videos what it's like to live, work, play, pros and cons, top neighborhoods, cost of living, basically everything that you need to know about living right here in Northern Virginia. So let's jump right into it with the 10 most frequently asked questions that I get. And the first question I get a lot is, hey David, where's the best place to live in Northern Virginia? Now, there's gonna be many answers to this question. Obviously, it's gonna depend on your current situation. Are you 30 years old, single, and you love going out, and maybe you work in DC? Well, maybe Arlington would be the best spot for you. Or are you a family of 5? Schools are super important for you, and you want a lot of land, maybe a big single family home. Maybe Western Loudoun may be perfect for you. Or are you a younger married couple, maybe 32 years old? You love going out, but you don't want to be around people in their early 20s. Maybe Reston Town Center may be perfect for you. So there's a lot of variables. Also, another great way to determine where's the best place to live for you is, where's your office located? Do you want to be within a 15-minute drive, within a 30-minute drive, or within an hour drive? Obviously, the farther you're willing to commute, that gives you the most amount of options of where to live. Also, what is your budget? If your budget's $2 million, you can live anywhere in Northern Virginia. But if your budget's only $400,000, then you can only live in certain pockets of Northern Virginia. Now, if you put a gun to my head and I had to answer this question, I would obviously say Ashburn, Virginia is the best place to live in all of Northern Virginia. I personally live here, lived here for about 5-6 years now. And as long as I live in Northern Virginia, I'm not leaving Ashburn. Only way I'm leaving Ashburn is if I'm leaving Virginia as a whole. But Ashburn, Virginia seems to check a lot of boxes for most people I help relocate to Northern Virginia. But just because it's perfect for me and a lot of people moving here, it may not be perfect for you. So yes, this question is very tough to answer on this video because everybody has different criteria, needs, wants, and goals. So that's why you got to reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. We can jump on a Zoom call and figure out the best place to live that matches your criteria. Next question I get a lot is, hey David, what is the housing market like in Northern Virginia? Great question. Basically, it's extremely competitive. Most homes get multiple offers on them. And in fact, on average, homes in Northern Virginia sell for $30,000 over asking price. And just like most of the country, here in Northern Virginia, we have extreme low levels of inventory and extremely high demand. That's what's causing this craziness with homes selling for way over asking price, 10, 15, 20 offers. But with that being said, you can still find some great value. Just be patient, take your time. Even if you end up losing 1, 2, or 3 homes, I'm a big believer in the home you end up winning always ends up being the best house overall. It's just crazy how it happens. In fact, when I bought my personal home about 3 years ago, I lost my first 2 offers and I won the 3rd one, and I'm glad I did because the home I ended up buying was hands down the best of the 3 homes. Now, the next question I get a lot is, hey David, what is the traffic like in Northern Virginia? So overall, it's not great. It is horrible. It's a lot of traffic. But I will say this about the traffic, is definitely not as bad as it was pre-pandemic levels, but it's definitely starting to creep up to those pre-pandemic levels. So a good rule of thumb is the closer you get to Washington, D.C., the worse the traffic gets. I live out here in Loudoun County. Overall, the traffic in Loudoun County is really not that bad at all, but if I'm in Fairfax County or especially Arlington County, it's definitely gridlock and it'd take you forever just to travel a couple miles. Now the next question is, so I've talked a lot about weather in my channel in previous videos. Obviously, a lot of people have asked me about the weather, but I got this twice recently, and that's where somebody asked me, hey David, we kind of know about the 4 seasons you have in Northern Virginia, but is there any like natural disaster type of weather that we have to be aware of? And I was like, wow, that's a great question. So I'm gonna just go based on my experience of living in Northern Virginia for the past 22 years. So I'll start off with earthquakes. In 22 years, I've only experienced 1 earthquake. And I remember I was actually driving on the highway when it happened, so I didn't really feel anything. But I remember I pulled up to the gym and everybody was outside. I was like, what the heck's going on? Well, apparently there was like a very small earthquake that happened. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Never experienced that before. But like I said, I didn't feel it because I was driving on the highway. But when I got home later on that day, I noticed some of my pictures on the wall fell on the floors. I had like broken glass all over the place. So that's the only experience I've seen with an earthquake in Northern Virginia. And then hurricanes, I would say maybe 2 to 3 times. We've been on a hurricane watch or a hurricane warning, but they never ended up hitting here in Northern Virginia. Maybe some 20-mile-per-hour winds, a lot of rain, but we never had a direct hit of a hurricane. Next is tornadoes. I've definitely heard of a lot of tornadoes throughout the years, definitely a lot more than hurricanes and earthquakes here in the Virginia, DC, and Maryland area. But I've never personally been affected by a tornado or even in my neighborhood or anything like that, but I've definitely heard of some tornadoes causing a lot of damage throughout the years. Now, the biggest natural disaster that I've experienced here in Northern Virginia in 22 years, and in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't really that bad, but we had a derecho 10, 12 years ago. And what that is, it's a long-lived windstorm. And I remember I was at a restaurant eating dinner, having some drinks. It was like a Friday night or something, and the derecho hit. I was actually in Reston Town Center, and all of Reston Town Center lost power. I was like, what the heck's going on? The whole restaurant can't even pay their tabs because there's literally no power. And I was actually out of power for about 48 to 72 hours, if my memory serves me correct. And a lot of Northern Virginia was just out of power. It was wild. I've actually never seen that before. And it happened like in July or early August. So it was like the hottest days of the year. And I remember sweating in my house trying to sleep because obviously I had no AC. But besides that derecho, I haven't experienced really any natural disasters here in Northern Virginia, especially compared to other parts of the country. And if there's any questions that you want to know about living in Northern Virginia, leave a comment down below and I 100% will answer every single comment I get in this video. So here's another question I definitely get a lot. Hey David, I'm very nervous about relocating to Northern Virginia from my current location. What is the #1 tip that you can give me to help make my relocation that much easier? Now, this is a great question. I definitely have a lot of answers, but if there's one tip I can give you if you're gonna move to the area, come here on a weekend scouting trip. This is gonna accomplish a lot of things. You can kind of really determine where to live. You can add areas to your list, or definitely, even more importantly, remove areas from your list. Drive around, get a feel from the neighborhoods, drive by the schools, maybe drive by where your new office will be. 9 out of 10 clients I help relocate to Northern Virginia, they end up doing this. Usually what we'll do, we'll have like a meet and greet at my office, shake hands, just kind of talk about your goals, aspirations, timing, all that good stuff. But the main purpose of this trip for you is scout the area, learn Northern Virginia as much as possible, but this will 1000% make your relocation to Northern Virginia a lot easier, smoother, and less stressful overall. Next question I get a lot is, hey David, we're kind of concerned about airplane noise, especially by Dulles International Airport. I can see your concern. Nobody wants loud airplanes flying right by your house. So I live about 10 miles away from Dulles International Airport. And do I hear airplanes? Yes, I do. But inside of my house, I hardly hear them. And my windows are from like 1998, so I don't have like state-of-the-art windows or anything like that. Maybe once every few weeks I might hear an airplane, but not common at all. So yes, when I'm walking around my neighborhood, I definitely see and hear the planes, but I don't personally think it's overly loud. I can still have a conversation with my wife. And really, the only time I actually really notice the airplane noise is when I'm trying to proactively listen to it, like for the purposes of this video. So watch this clip that I filmed trying to catch the airplane noise. So for me personally, it's not that big a deal, but everybody's different. But I don't think overall it should be a deal breaker for you if you're deciding to live like close to Dulles International Airport. Next question I get, this is probably one of the most common ones, is, David, when will the Silver Line Metro finally open? Great question. I think I have an answer. So I actually did a full video on this back in December, and since I made that video, it's actually been delayed again. So right now, the Silver Line Metro, if you don't know, basically it's going to go Reston, Herndon, Dulles International Airport, all the way out here to Ashburn, but it has not opened yet. But they are done. Everything is finished. They're just doing their final testing to make sure, you know, they're dotting their I's, crossing their T's, and they want to make it as safe as possible before passengers go on. But as of the latest research, it is projected to open sometime this summer. So hopefully June or July, it'll finally open, and then we can take the Metro from Ashburn all the way to Arlington, DC, into Maryland. Now, the next question I get a lot is, hey David, when we move to Northern Virginia, should we rent? Should we buy? Obviously, everybody's situation is different, but I always recommend do both. Move here, get a short-term rental, 3 to 6 months. That way you can take your time. You can really get to learn the area a little bit more because you're actually living here, and then find the perfect place. You're not rushed into it, and then you end up buying. So that's kind of the best of both worlds, rent and then buy. Now, if you're gonna relocate here and only live here for 1 to 2 years, I say definitely rent, unless you wanna keep the property here as an investment property. If you're here for the long term, I definitely would go towards buying a house instead of renting long term. Now, the next question I get a lot is, and this is a good one, David, what is the biggest con of living in Northern Virginia? This is actually easy. Hands down, it is extremely expensive, especially with housing. Right now, the average house in all of Northern Virginia is over $600,000, and that is absolutely mind-blowing. So yes, it is extremely expensive to live here, especially compared to a lot of other parts of the country. I would say 9 out of 10 people I help relocate to Northern Virginia, they definitely get the sticker shock. Really, the only exception is folks relocating from parts of California, like New York City or Boston. But yes, that is the biggest con of the area. It is so expensive. Now, for the flip side of that question is, David, what is the biggest pro of living in Northern Virginia? And this is a good one as well. I think the biggest pro is probably, I have 2 answers for this. One is, this area is very education focused, hugely. So I actually went to high school in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm not saying education wasn't pushed there, but nothing like compared to here. Because I moved here when I was 18 years old, and literally education is extremely pushed with families. So that is a huge bonus, especially if you have kiddos growing up here. And with education being a huge priority here in Northern Virginia, that kind of leads into the second answer of this question is career opportunities. Earning potentials here in Northern Virginia are literally unlimited. We have the government, technology, basically any field you want is right here in Northern Virginia. And if you're gonna be moving here, chances are you're coming here for a huge pay increase. So that's hands down one of the best parts about living in Northern Virginia is unlimited potential with your career and your earnings. And if you want to learn more about living in Northern Virginia, 2 things you can do. Check out these videos right here. They're gonna be great videos to continue your research on moving to the area. And the second thing is reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. You know I got your back when you move into Northern Virginia, and I'll see you on the next video.